All right, I had this whole video planned where I was going to talk about how proud I was of Canadians because we're still in record numbers not going down to the United States and spending our money there. Like, it is devastating their tourism economy right now. There are entire states that are just freaking out because they are not getting the tourism coming across the border like they used to. For example, like Maine and Washington. I've been noticing that Florida is trying really hard to get Canadians to come down there. California, Walt Disney World, Disneyland are offering these huge discounts that they would normally never offer on their tickets, offering gift cards on their annual passes, like things that they generally just never do. And I was going to talk about how Canadians are making such a huge switch in terms of the products that they're still buying, that here it is 6 months later and we are still preferring to buy Canadian products over US products. But then I woke up this morning and saw that the CBC did a whole report about how the grocery stores are lying to Canadians about where produce is coming from, so they don't actually have to switch their supply chains. And it's funny because the other day I was so happy that I finally went to my grocery store and saw Canadian romaine lettuce, and that I could finally buy romaine lettuce that was being made in Canada. But nope, apparently little old bait and switch. Now, I did know at one point they were trying to confuse Canadians by putting up, like, they would put up a display of strawberries from a couple of different places, and they would put product made in US or / Mexico. And you would have to look at the strawberry containers to figure out which ones were which, and usually there was no Mexico. It was all US products, right? But Canadians were kind of smart enough to check the labels. But the problem is that you can label romaine lettuce as Canadian, and they don't have a product label. There's nothing on the lettuce to tell you exactly where it came from. It's just a head of lettuce, right? So now I'm sitting here thinking to myself, are they lying? Are they just doing it? Because it did seem like there was a huge amount of products suddenly coming from Canada, more so than in the previous weeks. So I really do suggest to Canadians that when you are buying, do not trust the label that is up on the price tag. Double check all of your products if they have an actual label themselves. Like, even a lot of times you'll get like broccoli, and on the actual elastic band that goes around the broccoli, it will tell you where the location of the product that it came from. Unfortunately, it's not all, but do your best, because obviously the Weston family does not give a shit about, actually making changes, because they did say a while ago that they thought that this was a frivolous thing and eventually would go away and Canadians would just go back to buying the products like they normally would and wouldn't care about the location. But no, we're not giving up on this. Those of us that, have the money and can afford to do this are sticking to this freaking ban. I have massively changed my buying habits. That's why I was so happy to see finally romaine lettuce from Canada, because I could buy it again instead of iceberg lettuce. So no, Canadians are not changing. As long as the United States keeps flapping its gums, calling Canadians nasty and everything else, we have to listen to either Trump or the U.S. ambassador or Lutnick or anybody else go off about how much they don't like Canadians and we're so friggin' nasty because we're not spending our money on them anymore. We will just double down. We will double down and continue to do that because we don't care.